Blog Talk Radio.
We are the music makers, and we are the dreamers of dreams.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Superhero Academy. This is your host, Crossfire the Crusader, and I'm on the line today with our visiting professor, the I Crime Fighter, and with Night Fox Paradox. Everybody say hi real quick.
Hello.
And getting right into things, I want to go on ahead and congratulate everybody that first week of the Real Life Superhero Fitness Challenge is going real well. I'm getting a lot of reports back. Apparently a lot of you are doing better than I am, but it's still just the first week, so we're looking for some good things coming here. Just keep following the blog, following the message boards. We're doing real good on this, and I'm looking to see us a year from now being in a lot better physical shape altogether, and maybe we can all get together and pose. And, of course, I have been informed that once I get down to that target weight, I will be in spandex because the wife wants it. So I have some encouragement at home, too. And we're going to get right back into our caller here, or our guest here. This week's visiting professor, again, is the I. The I is a private investigator, a neighborhood watch captain, and pretty much a real-life Batman-type person, from what I gather. I tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, basically, I decided to become a PI to kind of, in a way, legitimize what I've always been doing anyway before that. Went through the courses, got my certification, and decided to kind of make it real. I'd done a lot of work even before I became a PI officially, doing a lot of volunteer undercover work, a lot of it at places that I'd worked in the past too, for basically drug dealing going on. In one case, there was somebody selling fake Rolexes, so there was some counterfeiting action going on, things of that nature, and it basically all kind of gelled together after getting the PI certificate and kind of deciding, well, what is this all about? And it really kind of came down to what being the I is, or like a PI or a private eye, is being a person who sees what others do not necessarily see or catch and acts upon that. And then taking that a step further, years later becoming a neighborhood watch block captain, encouraging others to do the same. So the nice thing about being the I, quote unquote, is that essentially it gives me, I don't approach it necessarily to the public a lot of times as being a quote unquote real life superhero. A lot of people have given me that name and included me in that group, but it's like I'm a live action McGruff the anti-crime dog in a lot of ways, in that for a lot of folks, the I is basically just my nickname, essentially, for what I do. And the persona, people on my block know me as Jordan the I Moeller, and that's my entire name. And because of that, they know that I'm not approaching it from a comic book angle in a way for everyone to see it in that fashion. I'm approaching it as an actual PI, neighborhood watch block captain. I'm not doing it for fun. I'm doing it to encourage public safety and for people to watch out, literally watch out for each other.
How many years have you been doing this?
Well, in various forms. I've been doing this since, the early 80s, I guess, when I began. And over the years, just basically added more and more skills and so forth to what I do. That my martial arts training began back in 1973. I was about 15 years old. So over the years, I've sort of, added on things that I required to do what I do better, and culminating up to today.
Awesome.
Well, I pay much homage to you, sir.
You have been on the edge of the periphery of my little community online here for years. I know, watching you on MySpace and reading little reports that you put up and things that happened and such like that over the years, and then over to Facebook, and you managed to keep out of the RLSH, RLSV drama that drives so many away, and seem to have avoided the T-shirt ninjas and the Facebook heroes and kept things real. That's one of the reasons I was so anxious to get you on here.
Yeah. I've tried to stay out of the drama. Sometimes I don't succeed at that because something just, I don't know, ticks me off or something, and I have to say something. Why do you say that?
And, my mom always said sometimes you just have to tell people what part of your body needs kissed. But,
exactly.
But that's mom was quite blunt.
But for the most part, I try to stay out of that kind of stuff, and I just try to be there for anybody who's starting out doing this, hopefully teaching them to do it the right way and not get themselves either arrested by the police or hurt or that sort of thing. It's a process. For me, the origins of the eye really go back to when I was a child watching, Van Williams and Bruce Lee as the Green Hornet Kato. And the thing that struck me the most about their motif, what I took away from that and said, how can I make that real, was the idea that they had a relationship with the police in that they would observe, report, be able to act on things. Now, obviously, it's good to be prepared if you need to be the first responder and the cops aren't there. They're not going to respond instantly. That's a fact of life.
Agreed.
And so you got to be able to protect yourself, protect others that are with you, take steps to do that, hopefully in a legal fashion, whether it's whatever's legal for your area, pepper spray, stun guns, what have you, but definitely martial arts and, hand-to-hand for sure, no matter where you live. But to be able to do that, but also be able to provide intelligence to the police for them to take next action in the way that the Green Hornet and Kato would do what they did, and they'd, notify District Attorney Scanlon, if you will, to swoop in and say, okay, I'm going to take care of the rest of this and arrest the bad guys. And that's basically the kind of motif I've kind of designed what I do around.
I kind of see the Green Hornet when I see your pictures online, your little your gear, your get-up, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. I see the Green Hornet in that.
That's intentional. That was my primary intention.
Well, now, sir, with the way you approach everything, I do like that you observe, report, and attempt to, if you have the ability to, stop crime. But do you take under, like, LA's cops, the way they are so into knowing what's going on in the community that they know exactly when they approach a person, they know what's going on with them immediately, even though that they might be doing something wrong? Do you have any kind of, so to say, people that you can go to, be like, hey, what's going on? What's going on in the local neighborhood? Things of that nature.
Oh, absolutely. In fact, one of the things that Liz Wiley, she's the basically the Mountain View Police Department spokesperson, and because of reduction of staff in many police departments everywhere, she's also now the Neighborhood Watch Block, basically the coordinator for that program as well. I talk with her a lot about things of that nature, and a good form of that would be, for example, say there's somebody canvassing your neighborhood, whether they're giving out flyers or whatever it is they're doing, to be able to check with them and say, is this a legitimate person in the area? Often people who are going to do things like that legitimately will contact the police department so they don't get the police called on them because they're just, giving away like a coupon or something, whatever it is they're doing, or, soliciting for charities, to know that they're supposed to be there. And if not, you can call the non-emergency number of the police department to talk to someone immediately to say, this is happening in my neighborhood. Is this scheduled? Do you need to come check this out? And whether it's an actual regular patrol officer or a community services officer will respond, they can respond to that immediately. So there's a dialogue constantly between the citizens and the police as far as what's happening, what's supposed to be happening in my neighborhood.
Very good advice, sir.
Definitely. So, I know Thanatos has his guy he calls Commissioner Gordon. Do you have a police contact that you work with?
That would definitely be Liz Wiley. I would say that. She's, like I said, the police spokesperson. She's kind of the public face of the Mountain View Police Department. Now that she's also the coordinator of the Neighborhood Watch, she's definitely my go-to person.
Interesting.
And
so
sir,
now somebody
when I
starting out of this, let's go and get some advice here. Somebody's starting out in this, they wanted to start a neighborhood watch in their area.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of advice would you have on that?
Okay, here's the main thing about Neighborhood Watch. First of all, call your local police department, not 911, but the non-emergency number. They'll appreciate that. Ask them for your area, do you have a Neighborhood Watch program? If the answer is yes, then the next question would be, is there a Neighborhood Watch block captain for my block? And a block is defined as not like a block like an island on which you live, but literally the street that you're on as bordered by, basically the section of the street that you're on as bordered by the next cross streets over. So literally, there's a street, California Street at one end and Mercy Street at the other end, and my particular block on View Street, so that people on both sides of the street in that little strip of road are in the block, so to speak, to be better equipped to watch out for each other by being able to see across the street if there's something going on with anyone's property, etc. And
basically, what's through your front door?
Yeah, exactly. See what's going on. And is that delivery guy supposed to be there? Is there something going on? That sort of thing. So basically, that's the process you go through. You go through and see if there is an existing program. If there is an existing block captain, you find, who is that person? They will give you that information. Contact them, and then say, well, I would like to become part of the program and involved in it. They'll have the block captain contact you. If there is a program, but if there is not a block captain, then it is up to you to become a block captain. That is exactly what I did. And basically, you essentially print out flyers of your own, distribute them. This is basically what they advise you to do. Distribute them to your neighbors by hand, and say, and arrange a meeting. In my case, a lot of people do it at their homes if they have room. We don't. We have a kind of a small cottage apartment, so that was out. But the police department often has conference rooms, which I took advantage of and used for a meeting, saying, hey, at X, day on this date, there's going to be a meeting of a Neighborhood Watch block meeting for this group if you'd like to join, and basically make sure you schedule everything with everyone. Hopefully, maybe people will get back to you with their emails or whatever. A lot of that, don't worry about that right at the very beginning. They'll give you that information if they come to the first meeting, and often what happens in the first Neighborhood Watch meeting that you have is when everybody gets everybody's contact info and says, such and such couldn't comment, but I'll let them know, and I'll give them your email so you can put them on the distribution list, etc. So then you get it set up, and then you basically can then source the police department also for classes that they would teach for free. In Mountain View, they had things like on how to secure your home, and you can advertise as the block captain through your mailing list that there are going to be courses, etc., and this is the date that's going to happen, and of course you would attend, and if you have anything to add, you can add to the presentation, or if you have an idea of an idea you'd like to share with the group. I also work in electronic security in my day job, and I have a lot of information and advice that I can give folks about, very simple sensors and alarm systems and kind of stuff that isn't going to break your budget, that you can put to be able to sense, hey, is someone at my door or not, for like less than $40, things of that nature. So, people can feel more secure. They can feel like if there's not a human being there, then some device might help them be aware of what's around their home, etc., and so forth. So that's basically the way you set it up. Essentially, the one question I haven't gotten yet is, what if there is no Neighborhood Watch program in your area, and that's an excellent one. So I thought I'd forward it myself. Basically, I would approach it in the same way. I would contact the police department and say, do you mind if I start something like this? And they would probably advise you to do pretty much the same thing, share flyers with your neighbors, let everybody know that, we're doing this, and whether or not you're, quote-unquote, a block captain or not is not as important as just saying, hey, is anybody else interested in this, and sharing contact information so we can look out for each other. So you can approach it on a grassroots sort of level. That's what I would do in that case.
With also, for those people that are military members, they have an Eagle Eye program that is available on each base and is conducted by your OSI representatives. I know this because I'm a Security Forces member in the Air Force, and it's a good program to go to. That is your neighborhood watch on base. Very good. Very good.
I like that you mentioned there are some inexpensive ways to secure things. I know a couple of years back I had a little managing motel. I had a door that I couldn't keep secure, people going in and out, and I actually MacGyvered a smoke detector and made a door alarm out of it. Just a couple of clothespin, a couple pieces of metal, and used a little test button and wired it up so that I made it a trigger so that when they opened the door, it made a connection. And a smoke detector is heard blocks away, and people don't ignore those.
Absolutely.
We had put a door alarm on there, and they hear the door alarm, and that's just the door alarm, and that meant somebody went out. But they hear the smoke detector, and they get up, and they grab their kids, and they grab their valuables, and they grab their dope or whatever they had, and they take off.
Yep. Absolutely. That's
Instead, back to running a hotel.
Yeah, things that use the psychological factor are always very effective, yes.
Indeed, yeah. I've noticed even taking, you can take apart, and this is furthermore, technologically, they understand what's going on with it. If you can buy a baby monitor, and all of these baby monitors run for you about $150, and you can actually place them outside. Some of them can be weatherproof. You can buy them that are not baby monitors. And you can also hook it up to your TV, and that way you can hook it up, and somebody rings the doorbell, you can just check the camera real quick, make sure that you're not answering on somebody about to surprise you with something.
Absolutely. Anything that kind of gives you extra eyes and or ears can easily be gotten. There's a lot of devices. In fact, I had just put one up this weekend outside my own front door, which is just essentially a door chime that plugs into the wall and a small sensor that runs on 4 AA batteries, which is a passive infrared sensor, which is detecting a change in body heat by like 1 or 2 degrees centigrade. That's what it's looking for, any passive sensor. When they call it a motion sensor, what it really is a piezoelectric device that is looking for change in heat against the background reference when you first set it up. And it works like a charm, works beautifully. It lets me know if there's actually somebody standing at the door last night. Basically, my wife's stepfather and her mother came over. Like, what is it? Is it going off? Is it got a problem? Is it failing? And no, actually, let's open the door. No, there's actually somebody standing there. It really does work.
There's also
a lot of stuff on places like Craigslist or FreeCycle.
Yeah,
a lot of stuff like baby monitors and stuff. When the kids grow up, people don't want them anymore. Or you go to yard sales and pick that stuff up, and then with a little bit of work, you can make it into something like that.
Oh yeah, I'm a big person on repurposing technology, making it doing something I wanted to do. Oh yeah.
And also, besides technology, there's other things we can do. For the people that are more tactically paranoid, too, you can actually buy these little non-destructive fireworks that you can actually tape to your door and the side of your door as well. So if somebody were to come into your house through the door or a window, it would actually sound like a gunshot.
Yeah. Yeah, I think budk.com has a few of those. And I've gotten those past too. Those are really nice to have with you in case you need to set up something where you're at and you don't have all your tech with you. Something simple like that works really well.
Very good. So what's some good security tips for somebody? You're talking about the neighborhood watch. Let's go into the patrol set. Somebody's out walking around their neighborhood. What's some good security advice you would give somebody for doing something like that?
When they're doing the patrol, you mean?
Yeah, if you're out, say you're going out walking the neighborhood to see what's going on instead of just looking out your front window. What kind of advice would you give somebody? You've already mentioned pepper spray and stun gun, both of which my wife have asked to test on me. But what kind of advice would you give on that? What somebody should have? If you're in an area where there might be some sort of danger or some sort of criminal activity, or there's a chance you might walk up on something, what kind of preparedness would you tell them to have? Just your off the top of your head advice.
Again, look out for things that don't fit. What doesn't belong in the area. Those things to look out for. But another really good thing to have, and I have this on several different sets of headwear and so forth, and on my fedora. In fact, not necessarily in my profile picture, but I have added something to it on the side. Those little flashlights that you can get that are about, they're cylindrical, about maybe 3 or 4 inches long. You can get them at your Walgreens, what have you, and they click on and click off. I've got a little connector attaching it to the side of the hat band on my fedora, and basically it's a good thing to have as a safety light at night. The police see you with this. They obviously see, obviously you want to be seen also for safety's sake so you don't get hit by a car, but also it's a good thing because the light is mounted in such a way that it is pointed where you were looking. And the idea behind that is as you look down the street that you are patrolling and such, you are essentially able to steal temporarily the night sight from anybody who might have had any ideas of rolling up on you, maybe mugging you, etc. Basically, you give yourself a tactical advantage in that way. In that sense, you can see them. You actually kind of, are basically affecting their night vision and doing it in such a way that you're giving yourself a buffer zone of reaction time where they may actually, if they had been thinking about doing something to you, would say, no, I'm at a disadvantage here, forget it. That's not a victim, that is a challenge. And a thief does not want a challenge.
I've noticed also with the flashlight, you can also do the strobe motion, which I've learned from a tactical recapture school. Is if you do a strobe, if it has a strobe option, you can do it in the figure 8, and that way they don't know your position in case they do have a firearm. So if they do have to fire at you, they're going to be firing in all directions, and that way, if you do have a CCW, concealed and carry license for your state, and you do have it, you can carry it with you, and that way you can respond as necessary. Now, I'm not saying fire into housing. You have to keep mind of your environment and also know where you're shooting and to and through where your passive bullet is going to be going. If you do not want to take that option, there is other options available. You don't have to go with the immediate ammunition. You can go with rubber bullets that they sell online, and it is more of a scare tactic, or you can knock down the target. So if you have that kind of training, you can subdue whoever you're doing. I'm not saying it's for everybody, but it is one of the options that's out there, and it is legal.
Definitely. One of the devices I would advise, in fact, it's become I actually decided to use it in lieu instead of pepper spray at this point, because I just don't like the way that pepper spray, granted it can age and you should replace it often, etc. But, I had one device I was testing, and it was well within its quote-unquote expiration date. And what it is the pepper spray was probably still inside the canister, but the propellant, for some reason, either slowly leaked out, whatever. It was a useless device. I cannot have that in an emergency situation. So what I found, finally, something like an ad here for this, but what I would highly recommend, when you see one of these, you will not believe its effect. It is the Sig Sauer 300J. It is a little pistol-like light. It's got like a rail mount on the top. It's made to go on the bottom of a firearm, but it is also intended to be used all by itself as a strobe. It has options where you can use it as a constant light if you want to, but I prefer the strobe option. It is extremely powerful with a focus chamber to get the maximum amount of focus out of that high-power LED that is inside there. We're not talking about a little matrix of white LEDs that are focused in one direction, like the hat light that I use on my fedora. We're talking about something that is made for tactical, strategic advantage and totally non-lethal. If you want a mystery man, Professor Heller type of non-lethal deterrent, that would do it for you. I highly recommend it. Again, that's the Sig Sauer 300J.
Also, what is available online, they have a thing called C2. It's not, as a lot of you know, as gas mask canister. It's a C2 taser, and it's available for civilian use, and it has the same grade as the police that they carry, and it will knock down a target. And it's actually been tested unfortunately, on cattle, which it can knock down a cattle if need be.
Very good. Yeah, basically you got to make sure you check your local laws to see what you can and can't do.
Exactly.
And I've just found in situations like where you want to discourage attack or approach in these situations, the tactical advantage, especially at night, of course, of bright light, especially strobing to disorient a potential assailant, cannot be undervalued.
Mm-hmm.
I found that anything that makes it inconvenient for them to do what they want to do will usually make them go away.
Absolutely. That's really what it's all about.
They're lazy. They don't want to challenge. We got about 4 minutes here on the air again, so here in a couple of minutes we're going to go ahead and close the game, but we can stay after and finish this up. But I just want to go ahead and remind everybody of our upcoming shows. Now, of course, we still have the this year we're doing an ongoing fundraiser charity thing. We were asking everybody to donate to Heart Heroes. If you're not familiar with that, go to the Superhero Academy blog page, and we will update that again. But the Heart Heroes does capes for children with a congenital diseases of the heart. These capes help them to find their inner superhero to help face all surgery and stuff there. They get $25 gives the kid a cape, and the cape gives the kid $1 million worth of courage to face the enemy that they're having to deal with. They are an awesome charity. I'm trying to get them back on here to get an update. Last year at this time, they were about 200 capes behind schedule as far as their financing. So we're trying to change that. So we are doing that. Next week, of course, we are going to have Razorhawk on here talking about the Hope Foundation, Hope 2011 and Hope 2012 and beyond. Then the 23rd of October, we're going to do some more gadgeteering talk with Artista Roy. That's always a fun show. He's always got something interesting. Right now he's building shields and that, so I'm not sure what we're going to be doing from there. And the 30th of October, the holy grail of all guests that I have wanted to have on here, Thanatos the Avenger, will be our Halloween guest. I am very excited about having him on here. The 6th of November, we'll have the Watchman. He's going to be, that's been arranged. We'll be talking to him. There's so much to talk to the Watchman about. I've got just awesomeness dripping from the ion down here. The 13th of November, our 1-year anniversary, will be a best of show. And then the 27th of November, we're skipping ahead a little bit, we're going to have an Electron Boy tribute day. Electron Boy's sister will be on here talking about his Make-A-Wish Day and all the fun that was going on with that, and it's just the story of his life and the inspiration that his story became. Moving on ahead to Christmas Day, we're going to have a no-show show on Christmas Day. We're going to pre-record it and upload some real-life superheroes just saying Merry Christmas, playing some Christmas music, just to have something on there. And then we'll do something special on New Year's Day also, probably also pre-recorded, just because those are holidays and won't let them get with their families. But some good stuff coming up, some other stuff in the works, trying to get Captain Black back on here, trying to get Agent 7 back on here, some others. Just a lot of good things coming up, a lot of good information. We've got about 1.5 minutes, guys. We're going to go ahead and play the theme song, stay after, because I have a couple more questions for the eye. Please do stay online. Those of you who are listening online, you'll have to get the podcast unless you call in the next minute and a half. In the meantime, I'm going to go to our I'll remind everybody that we live in a world of spandex and high ideals, so we can't take ourselves too seriously. Here's the closing song.
We're men in light. We roam around the forest looking for light. We're men in time. We run from the rich and give to the poor, that's right. We may look like cities, but what would you say, or else we'll put out your light. We're men in light. Always on guard, defending the people's rights. La 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 We're men in fight. Yeah, we roam around the forest looking for fight. We're men in time. We rob from the rich and give to the poor. That's right. We may look like
All right. You know, every time I listen to that song, I picture Skyman out there dancing.
I don't know about you. I'm not wearing tights.
But you know, it's just
I know
a
you're
reminder
the only one that
to
makes tights look good.
Not me.
Yeah, you had Lady Mystery dancing the can to part of that for a little bit there.
Oh man.
Oh goodness. So one of the questions I like to ask everybody that does this: what is the most, when you're out doing whatever you should do, whether it's neighborhood watch, whether it's charity events, whether it's street patrols, street ministry, whatever you want to call it, but when you put on your gimmick and you step out in the public and you're interacting with the world, trying to make the world a better place, you're going to have some stories to tell. You're going to have some connections where you talk to people, you meet with people, you change their lives, and you impact their world. What's some of the more impacting, fun, memorable incidents that you've had?
I would have to say, for me, when I was being contacted by one of my watch members about her elderly grandmother who lives on the street, and she basically contacts me, the granddaughter, to watch out for her behalf, and especially when the granddaughter's going to be on vacation and such like that. Just the message of thank you so much for what you do and looking out for us all. It's just, you put your hand to your heart and you go, wow, I didn't do it. I'm not doing it to get adulation, but boy, that feels good to hear it. When you really get that feedback.
Oh yes,
definitely had some experience back in St. Louis, and I saw a guy walking along the side of the road. Looks like his luck was pretty down, so I picked him up, and I asked pretty much to take me to a certain place, and I was like, okay, that's fine. You look pretty exhausted. You need something to drink? And, of course, I have water always usually on me. Gave him some water, and he goes, you know what? If I didn't have this water right now, I'd probably just fall over, keel over, and die right now. I am so thankful for what you do. I'm like, that's okay. I'm just, random guy. You're just looking out to help. I'm glad you're okay. So I got him to where he was needing to go. He gave me a big old hug, which was very off guard, but you know what? I would take it. So I'm just glad to help anybody out there that needs help.
Absolutely. It's more about helping people than just fighting crime.
Yes, It is. Now, a couple of years back, didn't you get injured on patrol?
Not me.
Me?
Yeah, the eye.
Not myself.
Oh, no.
That's just, I seem to remember, I hear so many things, but I seem to remember there was a story about there was a bar fight, and you were breaking up the bar fight and got sucker punched or something or another.
No, that's not me.
That's not you? Oh, well, congratulations then. Good. I don't know who that was. Like I said, I hear a lot of stuff, and you kind of wade through, and you got your list of people. Okay, these people I believe, these people I don't believe, these people I wouldn't believe if they said water was wet.
Yeah.
But we have some interesting individuals out there. So I hear a lot of stories. What's some of the more dangerous situations you've found yourself in? I mean, when you're out there on the street, it's not always just happy here, have a sandwich, and go on your way. It's
Indeed, it's not. I was in East St. Louis, and me and my buddy Fury Incarnate were on patrol going around East St. Louis, kind of seeing if anybody's needed help, because ours goes preventative, and if preventative measures, and then tactical measures if need be, depending on the situation. Well, we were in preventative, and preventative means provide water, help out, which I actually had the great idea of helping them out with the sandwiches idea as well. I mean, it was taken on from others. And bug spray. Now, I can thank Dust for the bug spray idea, because I had no idea how bad the bugs are in the summertime until I went to East St. Louis. We were helping out some homeless there, and we decided to get going. It was getting late. So me and my buddy, Fury, were driving around, and we had a Cadillac following us. We didn't notice it firsthand, and, of course, that comes with the awareness part that we should have had on. But we were headed back, pretty exhausted at the end of the day. And this, multiple guys started, coming out of the woodworks which was, I don't know how to describe it. We went down this alleyway, and I was driving down and got to a little corner, and I could barely turn my car around because we were trying to lose this guy. And as soon as we turned around, we noticed that all of them rolled down their windows. And a lot of the people that were around that area were started coming out of the woodworks themselves. Scared us to death, so we bolted out of there as fast as we could. But honestly, I'm not a badass, so I can't go around and just whoop everybody that I see. I saw that we were outnumbered, and I gunned it to get out of there, and I reported it later on, and I felt a little bit better about the situation and know what parts of town not to go in. But you got to know what you got to handle at a certain situation.
Absolutely.
Definitely. That's one of them times when having an oracle would have been a good idea, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
As I was saying, anytime you're going to be doing something in the public like that, it's good to have somebody you can call. And if you're going to be doing something in a dangerous area, like, when I did security, you had somebody on radio. You definitely want to have somebody you can call for backup, because you never know when you're going to be in that situation where the world's crashing in on you and you need somebody to come uncrash it.
Exactly.
So, how about you? What kind of what's the wildest adventure you had?
Well, one of the ones I talk about, in fact, it's in that book that I put out called "So You Want to Be a Crime Fighter," is when I came upon actually somebody right across the street from where I live in a van that didn't belong there, and upon closer inspection had fake license plates that were like a color copy under a sheet of plastic. That was like, wow. Oh, there's a red flag. But going around the car, looking at it with my fedora light on, coming face to face with the guy trying to look like he wasn't there, sitting in the driver's seat, and retreating to a safe distance to call that in. And later on that evening, the gentleman and his vehicle, which was unregistered, by the way, so the police scanner chatter indicated, he was escorted to other accommodations, shall we say.
Got even room up there. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I've only got just a couple more minutes in the after show here, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap up. The last thing, any last-minute advice you would give listeners as far as neighborhood watch, observations, anything like that, just any little pointers you might pass on?
I would say essentially that the main thrust of it all is it's more about watching out for other people and helping people than just fighting crime. But in order to find crime, look for those things that are out of place. Be observant, be watchful, and help your fellow person.
And if you can, get training too.
Absolutely. However you can.
CPR certified helps.
But, yeah.
Anything.
I lost you there.
Still here.
Okay.
I'm still here too.
All right, well, guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. I want to thank you for being here, Night Fox. Thank you for calling in. I definitely thank you for being our visiting professor today. I know there was a lot of information to be gathered here. You have a book out, did you say?
Yes, I have the link on my Facebook page. Give folks that later on if you like. It's just a little handbook, a crime fighter, to kind of tell you about my way of doing it, and kinds of real-life superheroes, and just the basics of the kind of ideas you could watch for stuff.
All right, definitely. I'll try to remember to link over to your page from our page, or you can go ahead and do that on the Superhero Academy page there on Facebook.
Sure.
In the meantime, everybody see us be back next week, same cross time, same cross channel. Use the old Adam West thing there. We're going to be back with Razorhawk next week. Talk about doing the Hope 2011 was an awesome handout program out in your neck of the woods there out in L.A. So Comic-Con. And so we're going to see what he has going on. The Hope Foundation is coming along, and a lot of good things I'm hearing from that. We're looking forward to hearing what he has and other exciting shows that are coming up. In the meantime, this is Crossfire the Crusader saying thank you, and you have a great day next week. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye now.